How's it going, people? Welcome back to AFTV and welcome back to Have Your Say. It's something we brought in towards the end of last season. Me and James were kind of going in with it, with fans, a little Q&A and whatnot. And to be honest with you, now Turkey have been knocked out of the Euros. It's back to regular scheduled programming. And for me, that is Stan Kroenke and putting as much pressure on him as we possibly can. Now, obviously, over the last few days or so, we've heard that we've taken out a loan and it's 250 million and all of this, in my opinion, PR. But I've also seen a lot of fans start turning in terms of when I done the news daily the other day, I think it was a Wednesday or a Thursday, and I was very pessimistic about a lot of the links we're having. I was curious to why we're spending big money in Arsenal terms on a centre back in comparison to the other priorities we need. And in the comment section, because although I've been focusing on Turkey in the Euros, there hasn't been much to focus on. I've been seeing a lot of people turning, in a sense. Towards the end of the last season, the comment section was a lot more towards Stan Kroenke. There was a lot more pressure, on his neck. And now it just seems like everyone has, well, not everyone, let me not say everyone. A lot of people have cleared the slate and are hoping for a positive transfer window. We're doing this here for a little Q&A, so make sure you get your thoughts in. Like I said, the 250 million is one topic. Another topic is some of the names we've been linked with. I'm going to go through some of the comments as we go through the topics and see what you guys are saying. Then we go up to the top so I don't miss anything. But I hope everyone is well. I can see a lot of, not as much as I thought, jokes about Turkey and Arsenal and how much stress it must be. Listen, usually Turkey are the team to take me away from the stress of Arsenal. This year they've added to it. It is what it is. We just keep it moving. We've got another season ahead of us with Arsenal, and we've got a World Cup ahead of us at Turkey. So it is what it is. Let's see what's going on. Absolutely scandalous that they're still in charge, says YOLO. And in my honest opinion, that is the biggest gripe I have. All that pressure that built up towards the end of the season, the Super League pressure and the fans slowly but surely realizing that the Kroenkes are the core problem at the football club. It just seems to have slowly but surely died away. I just think we need to get back on it, really. We've got Adrian here saying, yes, it's real, 100%. And like I said, there are a lot of fans that do believe it. There are a lot of fans that have already said, wait until the transfer window's over and then, criticize and then delve into it all. But in my honest opinion, when you wait till the transfer window closes, it becomes there's no transfer window. Wait until the season ends. There's nothing we can do. And then the season ends. And then it's a transfer window. Let's see. And it's a constant cycle. And that's why, I've mentioned the roundabout over the last few years regarding the club. And I've added the fan base to the roundabout too, because I don't believe any fan should be saying, wait till the end of the transfer window. I think fans really need this club to be acting proactively. And as much as I can't judge the transfer window yet without it being finished or close to being finished, it's just opened. I can say it's been a very slow start. And people will tell me it's only been a week or so it's been open. But at the end of the day, the season finished a long time ago. Arsenal are in a different position to other clubs around us. And to be honest, the owners we have are in, or should be in, a far worse predicament than they are in comparison to the other owners in and around the club, like Leicester and even West Ham this season, for fuck's sake. Can you imagine? Pardon my language. I just saw one comment here. This season is last chance saloon for the manager and the owners. Champions League football needs to come back. Jacob, the problem with that is it's another season down the drain, and that's my biggest problem with it all. I'm not getting any younger. None of us are getting any younger. Unfortunately, that's not the way life works. And at Arsenal, I've been there from the turnaround of Highbury and the Invincibles to what we have now, Emirates and an 8th place finish 2 years in a row. Edward says that kit collection is looking crazy. What's your favorite shirt, Turkish? Big up. To be honest, that Henry one there is probably my favorite. The burgundy last year of Highbury one. Obviously, the Lightning one as well is mad. The Bruised Banana's mad. Listen, Arsenal have had a lot of good kits, but you see what it is with good kits. They come with heritage. None of these kits that Arsenal bring out now have any culture or heritage to them. It's literally just like buying a plain Adidas top now. It's just got the Arsenal badge next to it. And that Arsenal badge, since we've had it, yes, we got a couple good years out of it initially. It's meant nothing but commercial success since. And commercial success is not what we're in this game for. Well, as fans, we're not. So, yeah, the kit collection there. Listen, big up vintage sellers. I'm going to do videos on vintage sellers on my channel soon enough anyway. I'm waiting for the new kit to launch. Obviously, there's differing opinions. People want to buy the kit. Some people don't want to buy the kit. Some people, understand how not buying the kit can have an impact on Stan Kroenke and the bottom line. Some people don't understand it. Some people dismiss it. It is what it is. I'm not here to force anyone or sway anyone. I can just offer my opinion, and that's it really. With the vintage kits, if you do want to know more, obviously my channel is in the description title of this video. You can just click that Turkish LDN and it'll go to my channel, subscribe, and in the next coming weeks when Arsenal launch their kit, I'll be doing videos with vintage sellers and hopefully sway some of the crowds, even though I said I'm not here to sway anyone. It is what it is. Good evening, people. I see a lot of people coming in now. How many we got? 1,500 people here. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already. Guna Vettel, I hope you're good. I hope you're well. For me, this is pure PR to get everyone's hopes up for the new season / ticket renewal. Well, the ticket renewal's happened or it's happening. People are making payments and whatnot. I've been too optimistic the last few seasons and end up being disappointed every time, not getting my hopes up again. That's what it is, Like, I know a lot of people like to, remain hopeful and believe and, remain positive. That's understandable. And what you have to understand is there's going to be different opinions. There's going to be people that think differently because it isn't all rosy. We see it on the pitch. We see it in the league standings. So, as much as people might look at me and say negative, there's some people that look at me and say real. And there's some people that look at me and disagree and think, you know what, it is what it is, because I disagree with a lot of people too. We have a common goal, and that's Arsenal climbing back up the table and becoming a force again, because that's essentially what we're all fighting for. Ben White would be a good signing, do you think, Turkish? I don't know enough about him. I've heard bits and bobs about him. I'm not going to say I've heard a lot about him. Look, it might be a silly way to look at it, but he's a 23-year-old English centre-back, right? And he's not in the starting. He's not in the starting 11 for England. He's not third choice. So it doesn't seem like he's fourth choice either. I might be mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. To be honest with you, at the age of 23, especially with the options that centre-back England have, I think a 23-year-old promising centre-back or someone that, we hope Ben White should be playing or should be selected. But that's just an ignorant view from me, I guess, because I haven't seen enough of him in a Brighton shirt anyway, and I don't know too much of him. So I'm going off of the fact that I'm watching England now. He's not there or thereabouts. Maguire was, where he was in the first few games, and it is what it is. He is third choice, says Zachariah. But if he is third choice, then when Maguire was missing for the first two games, wasn't it Tyrone Mings that slotted in? I'm not too sure. Okay, he's fourth choice. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And in all honesty, if we went and offered 50 million for Mings, is anyone going to be, happy about that? Stones has come good for Man City this season. Prior to that, he's been up and down. Maguire, he hasn't come good at Man United yet. He's improved them slightly. But listen, I'm just saying England don't have a plethora of options at centre-back, quality-wise. And I just don't see Ben White there. He should be touching the centre-back partnership if he is that defender that some people are making him out to be. But again, this is just coming off of that fact alone, that he hasn't, played for England. And aside from that, I don't know much. My question to you guys is, should it be a priority? Because that's another thing that I've heard a lot, that he should be a priority. We need him. He's an upgrade. And I can understand an argument in isolation that he is an upgrade. And I don't know too much about Saliba. I don't know too much about Ben White. I don't know who's better out of the two. And I just don't know what's going on with William Saliba anyway. But should a centre-back be a main priority? And by that, I mean, I look at the squad now and I think two central midfield players, one defensive, one more creative, and a right back and an attacking midfielder should be our first 3-4 priorities. After that, I'm not too sure. We got best in the world here says no. That's pretty fair. We've got a few more main priorities. Kroenke out, he said. He followed up. 250 million quid, in the words of Kerry, Aussie that invented one-day cricket. They should go and get their heads read. You won't get 25 million quid. But when I heard that, I said it must be 250 million Turkish lira. And then I had to go check how much that actually comes out to. And 250 million Turkish lira the other day come out to about 20 million pounds. So that makes a lot more sense than 250 million British pounds, that's for sure. Or even US dollars. I don't even, it's Stan Kroenke. If I'm Saliba, I'd want clarity 100%. With William Saliba, I gave Arteta the benefit of the doubt this season. I thought, we don't know yet whether William Saliba is the finished article. What we do know from his last season at Saint Etienne before the season we've just had at Arsenal is there was problems, injury problems. There was also problems in terms of private life, obviously his mum and passing away. So I understood Arteta's approach to it. Obviously, we hear from William Saliba, and William Saliba comes out and he says, I would have preferred to play. That would have helped take my mind off things more. I kind of came to England and I was kind of shafted. I wasn't given a chance. And then I understood that side a bit more. Then I thought to myself, Arteta, maybe you did handle it a bit wrong, even though that's in hindsight. It is a touchy kind of subject. We can't really say for sure we would have done the right thing. Obviously, this is bigger than football in a sense too, with some of the personal problems Saliba went through. Now, I can understand what Saliba's saying there, but then at the same time, Arsenal, we're a massive club, regardless of how embarrassing we've been over the last few years. We are a massive club, yeah. Playing for Arsenal and making mistakes at a young age could be the difference between making it or not. We've seen it before, to be honest. And listen, it's laughable now, but I remember a time where Senderos was looked at as a good young centre back, and he came up early against Drogba, and that was it for the good young centre back. Now, I'm not saying there's a comparison there, but what I am saying is if William Saliba was thrown in and made mistakes, he would not be afforded the mistakes that Fofana made at Leicester throughout the season, because Fofana had a great season at Leicester, young centre back coming in, no one expected nothing of him. Soyuncu got injured, he had to step up, and he done great, but he made mistakes that at Leicester you can somewhat afford to make without it being too much of a public embarrassment, let's say. So for me, we can't say for sure whether it was right or wrong with Saliba, but now it's not making sense at all. Now there is no benefit of the doubt to give Arteta, and this is all my opinion. Now we need to hear, because Arteta has already come out towards the end of last season, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure, about 95% sure. He came out and said William Saliba's an Arsenal player and he's going to be with us next season. So judging off that fact, that's the last thing we heard. I'm very surprised to be hearing 50 million Ben White. And this ain't me talking about his quality or whether he's an upgrade. I'm just surprised to be hearing it. Arsenal, regardless of... Listen, I know we needed to overhaul a lot of this squad. 3 years ago, the centre-backs, 4 or 5 needed to go, 4 or 5 needed to come in. And essentially, that's what we've slowly but surely done. But at the same time, it's been so slow that we haven't fixed other areas in the side. That's why the midfield now needs 4 out, 4 in, probably. Let's be real here. In an ideal world, you'd have 3-4 of this midfield out. You'd probably just keep Thomas Partey and maybe Joe Willock and then get rid of the rest. But it's not an ideal world. This is Arsenal Football Club, and we're going for a 50 million centre-back, having spent 60 million on 2 centre-backs in the past 2 years. On top of that, we bought in Mari and we bought in Rekic in January, giving Rob Holding a new contract. Do you see why sometimes I'm a bit pessimistic? But apologies. Let's get back to the questions. This is a Q&A, not a Turkish rant session. Turkish, if we are brutally honest, Arsenal's season is dead on arrival every winter. Am I right? Dead on arrival? Until the Kroenkes are out of the club. Well, to be honest, right or wrong, listen, going into a season, there is no hope. And there hasn't been for the last... I'm not sure. Maybe since we signed Sanchez. Maybe since we signed Sanchez. And even that hope would have been hope that maybe we can challenge or get in and around. But it wasn't to be. Do you know why they are at the club? Do you know why they hired Arteta? He's the classic fall guy. He'll get fired, then rinse and repeat. Sad but true. It is sad but true. But us fans need to, I think, stop at times romanticizing this whole manager thing at Arsenal. Yes, it would have been great if Arteta came in and he set the world alight. He won the FA Cup and kicked on. It wasn't to be. And another question I want to ask, is there anyone we can trust at Arsenal Football Club? And that goes from obviously Stan Kroenke. I'd assume 100% should be saying no. Well, I say 100%. I still expect that to be 98% because there's still 2% out there probably that still don't get it. But in terms of Edu, Arteta, Vinay, Richard Garlick, Lord Harris of Peckham, I think he's still one of the people in the boards. Is there anyone we can trust? Is there anyone you trust out there? And don't just say yes, him, or yes, that person. Say why, because I'd want to know why there's trust in any single person we have making decisions at this club at this moment in time. And the funny thing about that is I could ask the same question 5 years ago, where it was a different manager, a different director of football, or whatever Gazidis was called. The board was a bit different, and the shares were a bit different. But back then, 5 years ago, I probably would have said Usmanov is someone we can trust, but he wasn't allowed in. Aside from that, there was no one we could trust then. And there's been a complete turnaround of manager, boardroom, director, all of that. All of that's changed and we still can't trust them. So why should we trust them again moving forward? Imagine I kept this comment up a bit too long. I should have read it before putting it up. Jesse, you done me. Arsenal in the mud, Turkey in the mud, and a blue heart. Imagine. I'm on a roll about Stan Kroenke and you're reminding me. But the Euros is over for me now, so it is what it is. Let's see what's going on. Previous comment is right. Look at Levy trying to get Conte, and Expression said that for the season renewal reasons, and since then Spurs still have no manager. This is what the 250 is. Quite possibly. And to be honest, I saw the other day, Arsenal emailed me saying, get free printing on away shirts when you buy now, or something like that. And not that I check for Arsenal emails, but I don't think I've ever seen an email saying something like, get this printing for free if you buy. I don't think I've seen an email promoting buying shirts in that manner. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it happens every season. Maybe I just missed it because, like I said, I'm not looking out for it. But maybe there's a change there. Maybe the kit sales of that 71 commemorative away shirt they bought out for this coming season hasn't gone as well as they planned. I hope so. Chris says, I'm backing Arteta. He needs to be allowed to build his own squad this summer. Then he should be judged at the end of the season. He can't be judged with all these Mickey Mouse players available. Yes or no, Chris? Yes or no? Because he's already said he's been backed. And as much as we know he hasn't been backed, he's saying it. And we can call him a puppet. We can say he has to say that because he's his boss. But in reality, I've seen managers come in, yes, with more clout like Jurgen Klopp, and challenge the board, oppose, some financial aspects. That was regarding the fans. This one will be regarding transfers and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he's come out for, I think, the third window now to say he's been backed. Giving him till the end of next season would be very foolish if we was in the same position we was in the December just gone, the December coming. In my opinion, if that's the case, then, push comes to shove. The best question we can ask is this. When Arsenal lost in Baku and in the latest Europa campaign against Villarreal, how much did it hurt the board? If you want me to answer that question, it didn't. Because literally the week before going out of the Europa League, Josh Kroenke speaks with fans and talks about engaging more with fans, understanding that he needs to engage more. They need to engage more. Have they engaged since? Not only since going out of the Europa League, but since finishing 8th again. Have they engaged? No, they haven't. So yet again, even if we gave them the benefit of the doubt and said maybe they just realized they need to engage with us, they haven't engaged again at the right time. So no. Does it elicit an emotional anger? No, they don't care about the fans' pain or angst either. And that's it's the truth. It's the truth. Because if they did, it wouldn't have just been an Arsenal fans forum that Josh Kroenke attended. He would have attended that. He would have come out with more of a statement. Yes, he attended the final home game of the season. Whoop-de-doo. That, in my opinion, is PR. We don't need to see you in the stadium on the last day of the season when we're about to finish 8th with no hope left for Europe. That's not when we need to see you. In all honesty, now, I don't think it's a case of we need to see you or we need to hear you. Not in my opinion, anyway. I don't need to see you in the ground right now. I don't need to hear your opinions or statements right now. What I need to see is action. And so far, in this transfer window, we've lost that to Aston Villa for what some may believe is our main target, what others may believe is a secondary target. Regardless, primary or secondary, we lost that to Aston Villa. It's hardly, turning a corner going into a transfer window like that, because it also damages the reputation a bit more of Arsenal Football Club. And also this 40 million offer to Ben White and going in with an improved 45 to 50 million offer. At the end of the day, if you're valuing Ben White at that price, then what are we going to say when we go to Brighton and say, hold on, how much you want for Basuma? And they say 60 mil. There's things there that I think are silly that Arsenal Football Club are still doing, but it is what it is. Gareth says, big respect, bro. No matter who we sign or how much they spend, the Kroenkes need to go. If the 250 mil ends up being true, they're only doing that to take the heat off them. I'll always be Kroenke out. I think everyone should always be Kroenke out. I think you don't have to, believe there's more passionate people than me about it. When I was at the last couple of protests, there's more passionate people than me about it. There's less passionate people. But I think we all have to agree that they need to go. Regardless of it, if you're screaming at the top of your lungs, regardless of if you stop buying shirts or not, regardless of all of that, yeah, I think something we all have to agree on is that they have to go. And regardless of whether offered any alternative, them going would be the best case scenario for us, short and long term. Miles said we need to put our faith in our young players, so get Smith Rowe's deal done. Yeah, we do, Miles, and we have. Over the last couple of years, Saka, Martinelli, Emil Smith Rowe, we've put faith in young players. Guendouzi, when he first came in, 19 years of age, 1.5 seasons, he was starting for us. So we've already done that. But at the same time, I think history, again, should tell us with young players, if you don't accommodate those young players well, if you don't help them achieve better, motivate them, help them develop with quality around them. I'm thinking of Fabregas here as one example, and other young players gone in the past 10, 15 years. They will go on to better things at other clubs, So as much as Miles, you are right, we have to, rely on youth and we have to push youth. You are right. Emil Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka, I would have hoped Saliba. And in an ideal world, if you asked me last summer, I would have hoped Guendouzi, but maybe not so much now. But that's already 3-4 youngsters. That's already 3-4 youngsters. And you need experience around them. You need players going into their prime. And I think we've got that with a couple of players. And you need players that are very experienced. And that's where we kind of fall over. The experienced players we have are experienced only by age and maybe appearances, not by quality or level mentally, let's say, in my opinion, because the ambition just isn't there at Arsenal Football Club. But here I am. I often do these videos on my channel, yeah, and I'm forgetting that I'm on AFTV because sometimes I go off on one, and this is a Q&A. So is there a manager? Apologies, people, if, you don't like hearing too much negativity or whatever. Is there a manager out there that can bring out the best of our current players to win big trophies? If we can't spend, we need that type of manager. This is why I wanted Pochettino when we got rid of Emery. I only actually said Emery out when Pochettino became available because I said there's a manager there that, in my opinion, has been hard done by Tottenham. And maybe I romanticized a bit and said to myself, maybe Poch comes here, reputation of not winning trophies at Tottenham, and got done over, and he comes to Arsenal, he wins trophies. Maybe, I've done the same thing that I feel like we all need to stop doing, thinking everything's going to be rosy. But I think Pochettino is that type of manager. Obviously, Klopp is that type of manager, but we missed that one. We gave Wenger a bit too long. It's hard to say. It's all guesswork with all the other managers, and we can't be getting the Contes of this world because they're going to demand too much. The Los Angeles Rams are more important to Stan Kroenke. Of course, I'm from America and follow the NFL, and I get that. If I own the Arsenal Football Club and I own the Rams, I'm going to care more about Arsenal Football Club. Even if I own, let's say, Leicester City and the Rams, like I'm more, in love with football than I am with sports over in America, even though I do like some sports over in America. So I get that. That's something I understand. The Rams have made multiple trades in the last 3 years to win. Kroenke just traded for a start last month. Arsenal is the step kid. Well, Arsenal is the financial muscle, in my opinion. The money in football is long. And Arsenal, regardless of falling down the table over the last 10, 15 years, have essentially went up the table in value. Well, let's not say up the table, but our value went up because we still went down the table in value too, because other clubs became more valuable. But our value still went up through no input from Kroenke, just natural commercial deals. English football becoming the most viewed and all of that. That is exactly what helped Arsenal Football Club reach the value that we're at today at 2 billion. Because it damn sure ain't the football on the pitch. Thank you, George. I do appreciate that. Love for the love. KD says, Turkish, if we don't spend 250 million in the transfer window, then we as fans need to do something to bring a change in management. Yeah, well, yeah. I think if you're not fed up with everything like I am, then surely you've got to set a benchmark and say to yourself, okay, if this transfer window ends and we don't do this, then I'm done as well. Then I'm with Turkish or I'm with this person. Then I'm on Kroenke's neck. But failing to open your eyes and avoiding the truth and not setting a benchmark for it, that's what equals the roundabout we're on, because it's a clean slate every time. So I agree with you there, KD. Like I said, I expect not to spend 250 million. I'd be very surprised if we do. But we'll see, man. We'll see. So I like you more since you joined AFTV. I guess thank you. I guess I'll take that as a compliment. Conte is that type of manager. Yeah, he is. He is that type of manager. But I think Conte, well, Klopp needed to do that with Alisson and Van Dijk too. But I think Conte needs a bit more money than Arsenal are willing to give. Whereas Pochettino excelled at Tottenham, having spent less than Arsenal. Pochettino was doing at Tottenham what we wanted to do, which is getting into top 4, spending less. And I don't really see many more examples of a manager doing that, if I'm really honest. Even Leicester, for example, they kind of, they spend money, they don't, it's not out of the world, but they spend money. Turkish, you're doing great. You're not negative. You're keeping it 100. Honest conversations with honest answers. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed this, then when it finishes after, there's still 2,500. Leave a comment saying you want this back next Sunday night, and I might bring it back next Sunday night. Like I said, Turkey are at the Euros. The focus is back at Arsenal, and for me, the focus is back on Kroenke. So if we need to talk about Kroenke every Sunday night, we can talk about Kroenke every Sunday night. I'm sure there'll be a week full of letdowns and embarrassments to fill up a good half an hour to an hour of content anyway. So love for the love. Look how Barcelona is rebuilding in a financial crisis. Laporte is making so many changes every single day. That's what a big club does. If the president cares, he will. Kroenke doesn't care. I'm not too sure what's happened at Barca, because obviously I'm not... Has their ownership changed? I believe so. So yeah, that's where the change is coming from, I guess, because that last owner, I don't know what he done to that side. Andy, hope you're well. I have a feeling Xhaka will stay and Arsenal will buy Lukanga for a backup. That's why they're not pursuing Basuma. I don't like Xhaka, but I wish him well if he leaves, which I don't think he will. And people think I've got an agenda against Xhaka. Listen, I don't like Xhaka as a football player. As a man, I don't know him, and I just don't care. It's I don't care too much about players' private lives and all of that stuff. I didn't care too much growing up. I cared for them as footballers, and they became legends. I'm not one, even though social media has allowed us to, delve into people's lives a lot more, keep up to date. I'm not someone like that. So if I ever criticize players, it's just coming from a football perspective, literally. And with Granit Xhaka, listen, if he moves on, I'm not someone that wish that it's not I wish you well. That doesn't go to no player. If you leave Arsenal, you leave Arsenal. That's what it is for me. But I can understand people, wishing him well. And Andy, one thing is, that he's not good enough. I'm afraid the owners do not want to sell and drive on as before. They have not come up with a single excuse and need Arsenal to finance other teams. Very true. That's exactly it. We're an asset. We're an asset. That is it. If Arsenal are anything to them, because you'd say to yourself, if we're a business, if you were a company, you wouldn't go from, top 5 globally to making a loss 2 years, 3 years coming in a row. So if he saw us as a business, then surely he would have plugged the gap somewhere. And any good business owner would plug the gap a lot earlier than, getting into the red zone. So really, we are an asset. He looks at our value on the stock market, whatever, and that's what pleases him. That's it. So, Micah, Koulibaly, 1 year left. Really? That's a mad one. For me, Saliba listen, for me, if we went for Koulibaly or we went for Sergio Ramos, yeah, why would he come Arsenal? It would mean Saliba and Gabriel have okay, Koulibaly is not a legend, but Koulibaly is a very solid defender, in a time where there hasn't been very many solid defenders. And Sergio Ramos is obviously a legend. That could be the arm around the shoulder Saliba and Gabriel and the young Omar Rekik need, But with Ben White, I just don't understand that move. So knowing Koulibaly's got 1 year left, it's interesting. I haven't heard his name linked to other clubs, but obviously he's touched 30 now, I assume. Awar, Maddison, Isaac, right back, and please bring in Ten Hag. Listen, Ten Hag and Overmars would be, for me, because they've done it together. They know each other well, That's a process that I can trust. They come in and I know they have a direction. I know as soon as they step through the door, they're going to know what they want. It's hard to trust a process that's led by people that are so inexperienced. And that's not only Arteta, it's Edu too, and Vinay in the position he's in. Awar, I'm not sold on Awar, but listen, where Arsenal are at right now, I don't think we can get players that I'm sold on. Maddison, 100%. Isaac, 100% from what I've seen. Right back, 100%. And yeah, I agree, Micah. I agree. I hope you're well. Oh, sorry, I might have missed a couple of comments here. Let me fly back up. Have I gotten... we got this. Arsenal fans need to leave the stadium, turn off the TV after 60 minutes in the first match, after 55 million in match 2, or after 55 minutes in match 2, after 50. Things like that are not bad ideas. My problem comes with discipline, and I don't think the Arsenal fan base have the discipline for things like that. There's things I don't have the discipline for as well. So far, I haven't been able to give up my season ticket. It is what it is. I hold my hands up and say, that is a problem. But at the same time, I have been able to give up merchandise, and I have been able to find other avenues to show my support and love for the club and the badge that I remember and all of that. But things like that work too. I remember last year, January, I said, let's walk out in the 49th minute of the Liverpool game, because at that time they was, going unbeaten, to send a message, and it was received with a lot of, why would I leave the stadium, this and that. Well, we're going to be, out of the top 6. The Liverpool game's 2-3 games before the end of the season. The reason you'd leave that game is because there's nothing left to play for this season, and sending a message is far greater than anything we can do right now to the owners. But hopefully, over the last year and a half, it's been a tough time with COVID, but the Kroenke's true face has been revealed with this Super League stuff. It was all talk and, negativity before, but now it's a bit more open. It's understandable. KD said, sorry about Turkey. I appreciate that, even though you've reminded me. It was hard seeing you gutted. I'm passionate the same way you are about Arsenal and cricket. Have been a big fan of you, bro. Big, and I got a lot of questions saying, is Turkish this mad with Arsenal? And yes, just not when it means nothing, And when the club have continued to let me down as a fan over and over again, when does that hope die in a sense? Because I still love them, but I don't believe they're turning a corner yet. I think the hope will come back with a new owner for me. But good luck to everyone that finds hope in other avenues, like a new signing or a new process or whatever. Chris says, Turkish, my bro, you're the reason why AFTV are 100. Thank you. Arsenal need to make several B+ signings this window and hope they become ace. Yep. That's the sort of things we're going to have to do now. B+. That's a good way to put it. And nurture them slowly. Chad, I feel you, Turkish. Respect the honesty. Mick said, with you, Turkish. Back next week. Kroenke's out. Should we make a Kroenke out show every Sunday? Forget calling it Have Your Say. Let's say, yeah, actually, Kroenke out. Have Your Say. Yeah, why not? Why not? So I think that's something we can do. Joel Cole says, Turkish, show me someone who's successful that doesn't believe in their vision. Arteta's got his work cut out and you're on his neck. Give him this season. Even in the stream, how long are we in? 36 minutes. I don't feel like I've been on Arteta's neck. I've called him inexperienced, and he is inexperienced. I've actually said it's unfair on him, the situation he's been put in, and it is unfair on him, the situation he's been put in. I've criticized him by saying, he says he's been backed up in the transfer windows when he clearly hasn't. And I think I'm right to criticize him for that, or anyone would be. So, I think that as much as I understand, the pressure should more so be on Kroenke than any other entity or person at Arsenal Football Club. There's going to be people that, share that blame across the board, from Vinay, Edu, all the way to Arteta and the players. And when you're seeing week in, week out football, it's easy to highlight the players that are poor and the managers' poor decisions and, so on. But in the transfer window, it's more on Kroenke, Edu, Vinay, in my opinion. And then Arteta comes a bit more secondary. But at the same time, Arteta's lucky to be in a job. Emery got sacked for being in a similar position Arteta was in a similar month. He was sacked in. So judging by them facts, he is lucky to be in a job. So I understand, you want to hope for the best and all of that, but what can we do? Oh, I just missed something there. Sorry, people. The chat's kind of moving quite quick as well. Arsenal will win the Premier League next season, this says Sam. Sam, I'll actually remember that super chat if we win the Premier League next season, because that'll be a mad one. Desmond says, Turkish, big up yourself. What if Arsenal went for Mbolo? Shout out from America, US Marine Station in San Diego. The Swiss striker, right? A lot of people ask me who we should sign and this player and that player. And a lot of people ask like Robbie and other channels, Curtis, Deluded, whoever else, a lot of the people ask us. And the thing is, I'm just a fan like you're a fan, If you've seen things in Mbolo that you believe would bring something to the side, who am I to say otherwise? All I've seen from him is what I've seen in the first few games of the Euros. But it's not our... we're not paid to do this. The club needs to start getting things right. I wanted Pepe. We got Pepe and we carried on going backwards. So who am I to say who we should get? I can have, choices. I think Mbolo looks decent. I think Isaac probably looks better. But at the same time, there's still a lot of developing to do. I just think Arsenal need to start getting it right. That's why, although they went to Brighton and didn't knock on the door for Basuma, if they get Lokanga in, who am I to say that Lokanga won't be better? Only time will tell, but I'm going to judge off what they do and how they do it. proactive is one so far. They've been proactive in terms of searching and in terms of going for Buendia, Odegaard, Maddison, attacking midfielders, going for like Neves, Basuma, Lokanga, central midfielders. Rumoured with Ben White, who's centre back. Haven't heard much about a right back. That Scottish left back we was linked to early. So we've been linked to good areas and a vast number of players. That's good, but we still haven't got anything over the line or close to getting it over the line, which is good being proactive in your search. But if you're not getting it over the line, then it doesn't really come to much. Let's see what someone said. Mbolo, Sonogo 2.0, Bergkamp the GOAT. Turkish, remember Arteta is just an employee. He needs to protect his job and back his employer. And I know I always use this example, but Klopp is just an employee. And the first few months he was in the door, he was asked about fans leaving at the 70th minute because of ticket prices. And Klopp came out and said, the ticket prices in the UK are a joke. In Germany, they cost this much. Here, I agree with the fans. Now, it's a very different situation and it's a very different manager with a lot more clout, like I said. But that whole employer stuff and he has to back, it's false. It's false narrative. And I'm not saying he has to go full swing the other way and just air the whole dirty laundry out. There's a way to do it, you know. And I think Klopp was one example there of doing it. And we've seen other managers come out and say they haven't been supported. But Pochettino even did it a couple of times at Tottenham, you know. He hinted and the way he worded things kind of highlighted the true problem at that club. So, you know, as much as I understand he's an employee and, you know, he's been given a massive chance because it is a massive chance, we can't be too soft on him to start making excuses for things like that, in my opinion. Lewis said, big up Turkish. Hope you're well and had a good first Father's Day. Thank you very much, Lewis. Appreciate that a lot. And I did. I hope all the fathers out there have had a good Father's Day, you know, fathers to be, all of that. All of that. Turkey couldn't even get one over there. At least they scored one goal. One goal, no points, -7. Why is Turkey in my head again? I don't even know. Turkish, if the 250 million is true, then Basuma, Grealish, Maddison or Odegaard and one right back plus a centre back striker is a must. Well, if that rumor is true, like you said, we should see all of those come through the door. Because on top of that 250 million, if you add the player sales that we realistically should do, you'd be touching 320 mil, let's say. 320 mil. That includes Lacazette, Eddie Nketiah, Guendouzi, Xhaka, Bellerin, all of these men. So for me, if that is the case and we have that money, which again for me is all PR and, you know, a push to get more shirt sales and season ticket sales and all of that, you know, nonsense, we'll see. Only time will tell, as people like to remind me. Let's see. Turkish, I think we need to put the blame on the board. Ephraim, you've been watching me or what, mate? I've been putting blame on the board for the whole 43 minutes I've been here. But I do agree with you, my guy. I do agree. We have lost over 300 million in the last decade. Liverpool signed Mane, Salah and Firmino, who were B-plus players, and they have 100%. If I read something recently that since 2017, our revenue has gone down about 200 mil, roughly. Don't quote me exactly on that. It might be 180 mil, might be 220 mil. It's gone down roughly 200 mil. That's our revenue. And our debt has increased roughly 200 mil. You know? So in essence, that's a 400 million swing in the past 4 years. It speaks for itself. You know? It speaks for itself. Let's see what's going on. Jack, come back here, Jack. Come back here and tell me what you want me to talk about. Jack, I want to hear from you next. Tell me what you want me to talk about. Please. Let's bring me something positive to talk about and let's talk about it. I'm waiting for you, Jack, yeah? I'm going to go through some other comments while see, this is fun. I like doing this on my channel. And look, on AFTV, you reach a bigger audience. This is fun. Here we are. Jack says, honestly, just let Arteta create his team and wait until next season, for fuck's sake. Jeez, I'm sure I heard that at least 15 times exactly 12 months ago. At least, I'm sure I heard that. And I'm sure someone could say the same thing 12 months from now. Jack, you have to understand, yeah? I'm going to ask you again. Tell me something positive to talk about, please. Get back to me on that one. While we wait, let's see here. FP. He says, or she says, I always agree with Turkish, but regarding Arteta, I disagree. He was very angry and critical of no investment in the team against Man City one game. Arteta did mention November times that in order to play the way he wants to play, he needs 6-7 players. And in my opinion, if a manager says to play how I want to play, I need 6-7 players, that means he needs 6-7 players in the starting 11. Because he's talking about the style of football he wants to play. And completely agree with him there. Completely. And you have to read between the lines with these things because, like I just said earlier, he can't expose Kroenke completely because he is an employee. But us fans have to read in between those lines. And I'm glad you said that because you are right. He has highlighted how much of a problem we have. But at the same time, he's also said that he's been backed, and a lot more fans stick on that because it's a bigger, headline and it's a bigger cause of negativity. And cool, I understand that. But at the same time, a bit more ownership, a bit more explanation of what he done in the Europa League semi-finals, both, the false nine and then the left back situation. And it was a bit of a mess, kind of everything kind of went quiet. The Super League news was announced. We got knocked out the Europa League and then everything kind of went quiet. So again, a bit more, engagement. Engagement is what I'd like. Disagree. But yeah, I get you. But at the end of the day, I don't think I've been overly harsh on Mikel Arteta. I feel like I've just said he's inexperienced. That's, and again, that's a fact. So, sorry, I just went silent there. I was seeing if Jack had anything positive for me to talk about, but I don't think he does. So we'll keep it moving. Any more questions coming in last minute? How long are we in? 45 minutes in. Imagine this was meant to be half an hour. But I like this. We chill, we talk Sunday night or afternoon or morning, wherever you guys are tuning in from. Hope everyone is well. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And make sure you guys hit the like button as well. Like I said, if you want to see this every Sunday, hit the like button, get up to 1,000, and I'm sure we can accommodate, or I can accommodate. And that way, we can focus all that Kroenke energy onto this, one show a week and get it popping from there. Do this every Sunday. Do this every Sunday. Cecil said Turkish will join in this one time. Come on. Love for the love. I see Nigel there in JA. I see Kevin in Trinidad. Come on. St. Lucia in the building as well. 7:50 in the morning here in Australia, says Christian. Opinions on Sancho to United. It is what it is. United always go, spend big bucks on a player. I just think United are in a similar mess to us. They have owners who don't care. And when you have owners who don't care, you hire people who are not adequate at their role. I feel like the same things happen at United. JA in the building again. Japan in the building too. Come on. Come on. Leicester. Come on. Trinidad again. Love to see it. Shirt collection is hard. Jamaica 4:50 p.m. Come on, a lot of people in JA and the Caribbean. George, North London. Come on, my guy. Local. South Africa in the building. People, I could go on all day. I forgot this ain't my channel and this thing will just go on for ages. East London, I see Eritrea, Canada, Antigua, Portugal. People, allow me. We're going to call it a day here. Like I said, hit the like button, get it up to 1,000. There's still 2,500 here. Make sure you comment after, and let's get this Kroenke out movement back on the roads, people, because we can't let them, get away with it yet again. So please, people, continue banging on that drum, and I'll be back. Am I back tomorrow on AFTV? No, I'm not there tomorrow, but I'll be back Tuesday with News Daily with James. Supporters Club, I'm going to record a couple this week. That's another thing you guys can do. Let me know some topics for Supporters Club. I'm going to record some this week. Let me know some topics in the comments, not in the chat now, in the comment section. Let me know some topics, and let me know some guests. Any guests you can think of, Arsenal fans, obviously, any guests you can think of that you think we can get on, let us know in the comments, and let me know some topics you want us to discuss. And I'll just get it done this week, people. Love for the love as always, people. We'll be back. I'll be back. Just keep your notifications on and subscribe to my channel. It's in the title. Just click the link and subscribe. I'll be back on there tomorrow midday. Love for the love, people. I am out. Take care, people.